Paul is saying. Paul is saying, I'm praying. I'm getting on my knees. I gotta get on my knees. I'm praying for this church that is surrounded in a metropolis of witchcraft, of consumerism, of materialism. The city of Ephesus is a model city for humanism and for spiritual witchcraft. Not much unlike New York City. Not much unlike the great metropolises of a Western civilization, where we elevate celebrities above men and women of God, where we elevate money above love and sacrifice and service. And so here's a group of churches that are worshiping while people are doing witchcraft, and while people are using talismans and lucky charms and worshiping gods through sexual immorality in the temple, prostitutes. And he's saying, Lord, I pray that you will keep them and you will strengthen them in their inner being as they gather together as a church, and may they understand that they are rooted and established in the power and in the presence of the living Christ, that Christ that has no limitations to time and space. The Jesus of yesterday is the same Jesus today and tomorrow. And if he rose from the dead 2,000 years ago, he can rise in your soul right now, and he'll be rising with you tomorrow. May you strengthen them, and may they be rooted so that they may understand how wide, how long, how high, and how deep is your love. That's his prayer. That's his prayer. And some Bible commentators say that he was describing the cross. How long? Long enough for his whole body. How wide? Wide enough for both outstretched arms. How high? Before God the Father. How deep? So deep you will never find an end to his love for you. Paul was speaking about the love of Christ, no doubt. No doubt he was speaking about the love of Jesus. And what he's saying is that the love of Jesus is not something substantial, material, something you can get a hold of. It's not a beautiful fiction. It's not a sentimental belief. It's not a formal theory. But to Paul, it was a reality that was beyond all realities. The love of Christ is not an electrical simulation. It is measurable. It's a fact. He had considered it this way, and in every way, and in every way. And evidently, as Charles Spurgeon said, to Paul, the only thing that was real in this life was not the clothes on his back, but the love of Jesus in his heart. The love of Jesus has length. The love of Jesus has width. The love of Jesus has depth. The love of Jesus has height. Let's approach those dimensions. The love of Jesus has width. Width. Now look at the word. And you can see how wide is the river by noticing how much it covers over. When you travel over the George Washington Bridge, you're impressed with the width of the Hudson River. But God's river of love is so wide. You know how wide it is? You want to know how wide it is? I won't tell you how wide it is. About how many people are here today, Jay? Take an estimation between 80 to 100 folks. And if we include the kids, over 100. Can you multiply, let's say 100. How many sins have you committed in your life? Anybody want to venture? Oh, too many to count. Yeah, you need a calculator. Okay? You guys are amateur sinners. You guys are amateur sinners. So I'm going to speak as a pro. Okay? No, there's too many to count. Well, I'm going to count them. I'm going to count them. I'm going to do to the, like the 1 to the 10 to the 15th power, or 1 second to ratio to 30 million years. Well, if you sinned a lot, I sinned a whole lot more. You know how wide the love of God is? It's wide enough to cover all the sins of the entire world.